I mean, sometimes you just happen to land some special people on 24 hours of nothing but net. When you tune in during the 24 hours, you're going to be inspired and you're going to get some great advice. And there can't be a better person for me to get advice from at the free throw line than my guy, Dereck Whittenburg from NC State. D, thanks so much for being with us.
Well, thank you. This is wonderful. I love having the opportunity of seeing you, Deb, and congratulations to you, the Hall of Famer. And enjoyed watching you doing games and fun stuff, Debbie.
Well, thank you so much, Dereck. I appreciate you and Jackie are always so great. You and your beautiful wife, I got a chance to see recently, 36 years of marriage. And my husband and I, we're at 30. We were laughing about where we started at NC State together and where we are now. I mean, can you kind of explain it? Like, it's amazing because I was a freshman when you won the national championship.
Unbelievable. You know, my journey probably started in the early 70s with my cousin David Thompson, watching him on Raycom Sports Saturday night, Saturday morning ACC basketball. And if since then, this is my number one choice. You know, I was recruited by Norm Sloan, the crazy little Stormy Norman with the checkered jacket. And I went to NC State in 79, and who knows? And 83, and I had no idea we were going to win a national championship. And look where I'm at 39 years later, back at NC State as an ambassador and associate AD. I would never imagine this great journey that I was happened to be a part of, and I'm just having a ball with it.
You know what, Dereck? There can't be anyone better or more suited for that role at NC State than you. And you're so good at bridging the connections through the years with so many people, including myself. I mean, we were in contact a long time ago, but we're stayed friends all this time. And you mentioned Raycom Sports. You've dabbled in every single part of the game. You've played at the highest level, you've coached at the highest level, and now you're giving back to the university in a variety of ways. Explain a little bit about some of the things that you're doing for NC State.
Wow. Ooh, I think we need two or three shows for that. But, you know, when I came back here, this is like my fourth stint here. So I played here, obviously. I was a graduate assistant back in 85. I came back as assistant coach from 88 and 90. I came back again as player development with Mark Godfrey in 2013. And then I transitioned over to 2015 as the ambassador and associate AD for community affairs and fundraising. And I just tell you, this is, you know, if they wasn't paying, I would do it anyway, right? They're doing
Right.
something
Yeah.
that I would love and enjoy anyway. I would be involved in NC State. It's my passion. And so I'm involved in so many great things in terms of kind of being a representative of NC State athletics and university outside of the university setting in many events all over the state and maybe all over the country. My association with the V Foundation has certainly helped our NC State brand as well. Fundraising in terms of having a lot of relationship and connection with a lot of our donors across the board, from the $120 donors to the $1 million donor. I have a lot of relationships in that area, and but more importantly, what I really love is having the opportunity to connect with our coaches and our student athletes. I think that I can bring a lot of experience and knowledge, being involved in athletics for the last 40 something years. I can help our coaches, I can mentor our coaches, and more importantly, I can talk to our student athletes about the experience, the total experience that you get at NC State. You don't come to NC State just to be trained. You must leave NC State educated.
Mhm.
And I said that's that was what I enjoyed the most, is being a first generation graduate, having many relationships. I said you can gain a lot from this experience other than just having a sports experience.
Dereck, you're such an inspiration for so many things, not just the way you outlined what some of your responsibility is at NC State, but also the way you give back to the community. I want you to tell a little bit about what you're doing with your foundation because you're an inspiration to me. I'm trying to do something similar for Special Olympics. So outline a little bit what you're doing and how you've been able to impact directly student athletes experience, not just at NC State, but across the state of North Carolina?
Well, one thing that people don't understand about community, everybody thinks the word about community is being present and being involved. And so you have to serve and you have to give back. And the only way you can do that is to be present and be involved. That means showing up at events and also donating a little bit to everybody. If everybody is helping everybody a little bit, we all going to grow together. And I think I've taken that philosophy because when I was tapped to be a part of a founding member of the V Foundation, I saw what with the impact that that foundation did for people that we're all touched by cancer. And I
Mhm.
took that to another level because of my passion of education. So my wife and I started the Dereck Whittenburg Foundation for education, in which we try to help juniors and seniors finish college. And so if you take NC State, the V
Mhm.
Foundation, and my foundation is part of my brand, is part of NC State's brand. And from there, we want to support everybody in every other space. So we're at events at the autism event, the Heart Association, you name it. Before the pandemic, my wife and I was involved in 194 events in the state of North Carolina, in the Raleigh area, and across the country. You have to be present. You have to be involved. And I want to be the example for many others and student athletes in particular to say, listen, look at all the great things you can do after you get your education, how you can be involved in the community, and more importantly, make an impact.
Dereck, you have led always from the front. I can't imagine a situation where they're watching you as a player and following as trying to be a shooter like you, right? Trying to follow your example, or what you're doing with the way you lead it from the Jimmy V Foundation. I'm trying to do something similar with the K Yao Cancer Fund. I think we run in some parallel tracks because I think I'd like to say my heart is as big as yours, and when it comes to giving back to the community, not just this financial support, but your ability to tell stories with the way you've produced stories around your experiences and how you're trying to grow that part of your brand. Take a second here and explain a little bit about how you're using your tools in the production space to be able to tell the stories that you want to share.
So it's interesting. I want to get this in. I was the one, and I'm taking full credit that when we started the V Foundation, I wanted to make sure that K Yao was a part of our organization first before the K Yao Foundation broke off. That's the origin of that. That's what they're all to be in because K Yao and Jimmy V's relationship was special. They had a very close relationship. So I want to make it clear that
Mhm.
I was part of the origin of that foundation, and I was happy to do that because I loved Kay Yao, not as much as her former players and her coach,
Pretty
uh,
close.
but I loved her for what she stood for and how she took care of her people. She cared about people, so I would do anything when it comes to the Kay Yao Foundation, and Kay Yao and her family was tremendous. Believe it or not, I got into the film business in a awkward way. I was fired at Fordham University as the coach. And a lot of coaches don't understand this. Everybody thinks, wow, being fired is one of the worst things in the world. I didn't see it coming. I wasn't shocked. I wasn't mad. It was a time for me for the first time after 26 years of being in college athletics to reflect on what is it that if I can't coach, what is it can I do? Right? What does Derek Wittenberg have other than being a coach? If they take the coaching away, what can I do? And I'm sitting on the couch one day and I'm watching the Fab Five, and I called my friend Jonathan Hawk, who's did many films for ESPN, and I said to Jonathan, I said the '83, I got a special story that I want to tell you about our team, about this crazy little Italian coach who came from Long Island, who had a vision and a dream to win the national championship, and they took this ordinary guys that Norm Sloan had gathered, and he had a vision. And I said, we need to tell this story. I was turned down on many occasions, twice by ESPN before we got the green light. And then 2 years later, it took it from 2011, 2013, we came up with Survive in Advance, what happens to be the most watched sports documentary in the world. 68 million people watch Survive in Advance every Christmas. I had no idea. I was just telling a passionate story about my teammates, about my coach, how we loved and cared about each other. And that's basically what the story was all about. It's not a basketball story. It happened to be a basketball story because we won the national championship. But here's a human interest story. It's about persevering. It's about caring for people. It's about teamwork. It's about leadership. It has everything you need to learn about leadership, relationships, and communication in that one film. And I'm just so happy. I thank Fordham University every day for firing me because they have really opened me up and made me realize who I really am.
I mean, that gets my blood just pumping. Like I've got goosebumps thinking about how fortunate we were, bringing it full circle to, you know, I mean, I always like to align myself with people like you that I know give and care. And that's what we learned. You're absolutely right about your description about Coach Al. You're right. Her former players love her. And I know you love her too. I see you at every Play for K game. I see you supporting the team. I see you having conversation and relationship with Wes and the players. I also see you leading the band. I look over there and you're over there leading the band. I mean, you're taking advantage of full experience to share what you've learned. And I say full advantage of what you've learned, and all you do is share and give it back. Isn't that exactly what the root of our time at NC State was about, with the people that we came in contact with, Coach V and Coach Yao, and how their messages still resonate today?
What these relationships like we have, Debbie, they have created a lifelong relationship with us, and we get to share that, right? That's very special, right? Because at the end of the day, it's the people that you help, it's the people that you empower, it's the relationships that you have. And that's what this experience and this journey, all of us is in the same journey. This was allowed us to happen. And I am grateful for it. Listen, they call our guys donors, right? People who donate money.
Mhm.
They're my lifelong friends. I
Yes.
spend time with them. I'm intentionally spending time with them because I want to be with them. I want to share the good times and the bad times. I mean, people even denounce the fact that when we have like Fred Joseph, who was one of our biggest Wolfpack donors, who passed away, it was so important to go to his funeral and his celebration to tell his family, NC State, we appreciate everything Fred Joseph and your family has done for us when he was here, and his legacy stays with us. Those are important places to be, and I think that's part of my role and part of what I'm excited about. Even being on this your podcast, it's a special time for us to get a chance to spend time and share information, and hopefully it would help others along the way.
And that's exactly what we're doing here, Dereck. And that's why I'm so grateful for your time. I know how valuable it is. And I appreciate our relationship over the decades, that 24 hours of nothing but net. And my guy, Frankie, right here, who you know is my inspiration. And I know you've had a chance to meet Frankie and meet my boys who attended camp and went to NC State's camp. I just want to say that, to me, giving is a skill. And you're right. The very first thing you said was, if everybody just helps everybody a little bit here and there, we can make the world so much better, and we can definitely impact our own communities. 24 hours of nothing but net is a free throw shooting marathon. I'm going to be in the driveway as this is going on right now, this 24-hour live stream. And when I'm in the driveway, I'm going to be thinking about Dereck Whittenburg while I'm at the free throw line, because I know you were an excellent shooter, right? If somebody was listening and watching and paying attention to what we're trying to do to raise money for Special Olympics, what would you say to encourage them to maybe give a penny for every free throw I make? Because if they just give a penny, it's $24 for Special Olympics. It's not that much. It's that little bit that you're talking about that makes a huge difference for athletes and families like mine.
Special Olympics is a special organization. Your work needs to be commended, and many others across the country that are working with Special Olympics. Listen, I love what you're doing for Special Olympics. I want to be involved. I need to be involved. I'm going to donate my money. I'm going to shoot some shots and donate too and help you along this way. I'm going to get my organization involved. I'm going to get my donors, my connections. We are going to help you in Special Olympics because we love the work you do for those kids and those families. They need our support.
Dee, you know I love you, and I can't thank you enough for your time, your heart, your passion, your own community service. Coach V and Coach Al taught us to be servant leaders, and I know you're doing your part. I'm trying to do mine. And I'm so grateful that you took the time to be with us. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Let me know the date. Let me know what I need to do, and I'm gonna bring my army to help your organization. And we're happy to be involved in anything you need from the Dereck Whittenburg family. We're right there with you, Deb.
Was it a shot or was it a pass? Got to ask you that before you go.
39 years is still, it remains the same. It was a pass.